All right. Are we? We're here. We're here. Tick, 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 tick. Boom. All right. We are live. My apologies for the delay. We had some technical difficulties. I asked my son to go get me a power board so that I could rig up some more lighting, even though I'm in this room, which is full of windows and bright light. I think because I'm in the corner, it seems quite shadowy. So we just had a wonderful learning opportunity. He thought the power board was the internet router, and he unplugged all of the internet. And so I have just been sitting here for the last 15 minutes waiting for the router to boot back in so that we can absolutely spend some quality time together on this wonderful Wednesday. So if you are joining us and you have no idea who you just clicked on, I am Aileen Day. I am the owner and founder of Meraki Business Solutions and Value Driven Brand, and the newly built aileenday.com.au. So if you're hanging out with us for the next little bit, thank you. If you've come here before and enjoyed the festivities, then welcome back. Loyalty and return custom, that's what we're all about. And if you're new to the show, it pretty much is a show. It's a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of education, and a whole lot of me ranting about how to make customers happy, how to make your employees happy, and not just happy, but loyal to your brand, how to create a trusted and value-driven brand for yourself, not just a business. So what are we talking about today? You will ask, you'll say, stop talking, Aileen, stop chattering. Well, today I want to talk to you about a brand promise. Now, a brand promise can come in a few different shapes and forms. And as we know, as business leaders and owners and entrepreneurs and creative thinkers, that there is plenty of ways to skin a snake. And I am by no means indicating that this is exactly how you go about creating a brand promise. But when I was doing a little bit of homework on the subject, because as much as possible, I like to be prepared for these live broadcasts so I can show you how much I value your time so that we can maximize the value on information that you get. Hello, people. Oh, more people just joined in. So when I was doing a little bit of homework on the subject, it came to me that some brands, actually their brand promise in some situations sounds kind of more like a tagline, a marketing tagline. But what I really did find quite consistent is even if it sounded a little bit like a marketing tagline, it's still really enveloped or enveloped, however you want to pronounce it, enveloped that brand's mission, purpose, and vision for being, right? And what I can absolutely see from some of these brand promises is that it certainly is a piece of text that actively helps them as a brand with their team, with their employees, help create that experience that they have as their vision. So I want to give you a couple of examples of some big brands and their brand promises, right? And in the meantime, while I'm reading these out, I want you to consider your brand. And you might still be in the business of being a business, and that's cool because we all have to start somewhere. And we certainly don't just start as a brand, right? A brand becomes something that we achieve when we are actively trusted in our industry, when we are consistently delivering for our customers, when we become a place that our team could never want to go anywhere else, right? Oh, hi, Michelle. Welcome. Right? So that is when you start to be a brand, right? When you start to elicit feelings when people hear your name, right? And this is just part of the transition from going from being a business, right? You're a commodity. If you close down tomorrow, probably no one would really miss you, to a brand where you would leave holes in people's hearts had you no longer existed. But I'm sure if you're a smart and trusted, value-driven brand, that's never going to happen, is it? No. Not on my watch, mate. So listen to a few of these brand promises and take into consideration what you do for your customers, why you exist, and how you might be able to envelop what you do as a promise to your customers, as a promise to the people who work alongside you, right? Let's take some into consideration. So the first one we've got is Coca-Cola, and their brand promise is to inspire moments of optimism and uplift. Drinking a Coke, inspire moments of optimism and uplift. Now, I'm going to give them the uplift part because it's so full of sugar and caffeine that, yes, I certainly feel uplifted. But can you see how that's not just a marketing tagline? In fact, I actually don't think I've really heard either of those two words, optimism and uplift, in any marketing whatsoever. But you can also see how with the way they do their business, that if you said to your team, you know what, whatever product we produce, whatever service we deliver, we want to make sure that we are delivering it with optimism and it is uplifting. So you could carry that from manufacturing all the way to product quality, to the way that your supply chain delivers on the product to their customers. That is a brand promise, right? That we as a team can live up to, that creates an inside feeling, an intrinsic feeling for me to go, ooh, is that uplifting? Oh, probably not that much. Well, then that's not good enough, right? That's not our promise, right? Here's another one, BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Now, I'm pretty sure I have actually heard this in some of their marketing, not all the time, but what does that tell you? If you are the person or the people manufacturing, engineering, developing, creating innovations for the automotive industry, and you go, hey, I want to go work for BMW, you work there and you're like, my job is to do whatever it takes to engineer the ultimate driving machine. So then again, as a brand promise, whatever we do with the way we do our business, we are going to work towards delivering everything that gives you the ultimate driving machine. Now, imagine what kind of culture that also breeds internally in your brand. That's a high performance culture, right? That's not like, oh, we're going to give you the best thing that we can afford so that you can get from point A to point B, and then your culture ends up being like, yeah, that'll do, right? Versus, yeah, it could get them from point A to point B, but what's the experience going to be like? Are they going to get out of the car and just think, no, I want to get back in, right? No, this isn't good enough. This, we could do better, right? There's always this drive to innovate, drive to be better, drive to, create better performance. So you can start to already see just with those two, how creating your brand promise is already a way to help you deliver the best your brand can deliver, above and beyond anything your customers ever expected, right? Let's go for a couple more. Good old Nike. I mean, I can't run to save my life. If someone was chasing me, I'd just have to sit down and say, do what you got to do. But Nike, Isn't it funny? I don't like running, but I see a Nike ad and I feel like I could go run a marathon. I don't even like running, and it's that good, that inspirational, that I'm like, yeah. I forgot that my left knee cracks every time I, put a step down on the pavement. I could totally run 42 kilometers or 40 whatever miles. See, I don't even know what a marathon is. I'm terrible. But their brand promise, and this works, to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. Now, I certainly wouldn't classify myself as an athlete. My 45-minute walks in the morning with my girlfriend and our dogs probably doesn't really get me into athlete status. But when I hear that, if I work for Nike, I instantly feel like I am driven to deliver on that promise. I want to do everything in my power to create innovation for athletes so that they can run faster, so that they can jump higher, so that they can be the best humans in sport that they can be. That becomes my personal mission, right? To help that organization deliver on what is their promise to their customers. All right. Look, every man and his dog talks about Apple. Well, now we can make it every woman and her dog. Apple. All right. So you're popular and stuff. Fine. All right. Theirs is very simple. Think different. Now, this is actually one that they do use quite often in marketing and their advertising. And to be honest, it's as much a brand promise as a call to action. I think, when you look at people like Steve Jobs and all those crazy cats that started Apple and continue with what is now a legacy brand, they never really did business the way everyone else did business. And to their credit, they now have the type of business or brand that is just, everybody reveres it, right? Everybody wants to know, how did you do that? But the reality is they stuck to their brand promise of thinking different. Okay, pretty simple. And it certainly doesn't have to be wild and over-analyzed or over-critical or anything. I tell you what, that LinkedIn automated subtitling thing would be having a field day right now. So if you're watching this on LinkedIn, feel free to turn those subtitles off. They're shit house. Oh, LinkedIn, there's some feedback for you. Please, just terrible. I feel what you're trying to do, but they're very bad. All right, let's go through a few more. H&M. So we're into fashion now. More fashion choices that are good for people, the planet, and your wallet. Oh my Lord, right? What an amazing brand promise. There is a bug in front of my face. I've got new indoor plants and I think I overwatered one of them. And now I have these tiny little bugs back floating around my face. Anyway, back to H&M. So if you're an employee in H&M and you get a, knock on LinkedIn and someone says, oh, hey, I manufacture clothes and you totally should stock them in H&M. And you go, oh my gosh, they are amazing. And then you realize that they're made from 5-year-olds in Southeast Asia and they live in a terrible little village where nobody looks after them, and it's not a very humane experience, and we're all about the human experience, right? So H&M are like, hey, actually, yeah, that's not our brand promise. Love what you're doing there, but that isn't good for people and it's not good for the planet. It might be brilliant for your wallet, but what they've really done is they've created like this triangular brand promise. They've gone, is it this, this, and this? Well, if it's not all three, then it's none at all, right? So not just from a customer experience have they really helped with this creation of a brand promise, but they've really certainly helped their employees, give them some guiding light as to what they really stand for. And how good is it to feel like, hang on a minute, no, I now have the opportunity to help the population live a better life because of what I do. And this is my promise, right? How beautiful is that? How are we making your team feel amazing inside about what they do, right? And I hope all the while you're considering what this means for your brand. Hi, Paul. LinkedIn closed captions automatically censor you with star, asterisk, 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 asterisk for certain words. Do they really? That's hilarious. Actually, I'm not really surprised. Good old LinkedIn. G-rated all the way. I did watch a few of the subtitles back the other day again, and I was just like, oh, these are terrible. They're such a distraction as well. But anyway, maybe I'll just do one live stream just going beep, beep, beep. See how it likes it. I reckon I'll probably get my LinkedIn live access revoked. So we won't do that. Okay, I'm just joking. It's fine. All right, who else? Marriott Hotels. Now, one of my friends and clients, Nadine Harnack, she has a long-standing affiliation with Marriott Hotels, and she talks about the culture and the brand very often, and I can absolutely see why. Marriott Hotels, if you're watching, nice work. Feel like putting me up for some customer experience stuff. Happy to help out. But Marriott Hotels, their brand promise is quiet luxury. Well, they'll probably be like, no, we don't want you. You're not very quiet. Quiet luxury, crafted experiences, and my most favorite, intuitive service. Oh my Lord, I already feel relaxed thinking about being with the Marriott Hotel, right? So if you are in the hospitality industry, imagine being able to deliver a brand promise like that. Who wouldn't want to come back time and time again? Who wouldn't want to be your loyal customer when you deliver a brand promise like that? Like even the quiet luxury, to me, you could take it very literally and mean quiet as in shh, which is not something I very often do. And when I do, people get very nervous when I become quiet. But you could also take that as quiet luxury, like, what's the word I'm looking for? People watching online live, what's the word I'm looking for? Like subdued, discreet luxury, like, you know what I mean. I'm waving like, give me words. But it might mean not necessarily the peace, but it could be peace and quiet. There's certainly few ways to deliver on quiet luxury, but quiet luxury crafted experiences, which means those experiences when you are a customer of Marriott, because they're using that intuitive service, they want to get to know you. That tells me from knowing what that means is that they build relationships with their customers, that they want you to come back time and time again, that they want you to feel calm and relaxed in their presence, and that whatever you get from them is because they know what you want. And that is an amazing customer experience. And imagine being being an employee in that kind of brand and saying, you know what, I know that if it makes my customer happy, I have the capacity and the autonomy to create an experience if it means that my customers are going to come back again. Like, what a beautiful culture to be able to deliver on that level of customer experience, to create such innate experiences for each customer. Who gets that? I mean, I know it's not cheap, but that's why you get what you pay for, right? So, AppSumo. Now, this is actually where this all started, right? Noah, I'm going to tag you. I fucking love you, man. You are the bee's knees of entrepreneurs, right? So I follow Noah, who is the founder of AppSumo. And if you don't have AppSumo yet, bloody go and get it. I tell you, you're probably going to run your bank account a little bit dry because there's so many amazing, cool programs and systems and information and just fantastic stuff that you can get from AppSumo. But what I really loved was AppSumo have this customer experience where if you purchase something within a period of time, I think it's like 60 days, you can actually get a refund, a full refund on whatever it was you purchased with the click of about 3 buttons. There's no questions. There's no, why do you want to leave me? And there's no neediness. There's just like, you don't want it anymore? All right, no worries. Here's your money, right? Which is something from a brand perspective. You can't underestimate how bloody good that is to experience as a customer, right? I used to get so frustrated when I worked at Bunnings and not so much at Officeworks because I wasn't in stores at Officeworks, but when I was in stores at Bunnings, customers would come in and, you'd get some who were just opportunists and not very good at hiding their bullshit. But there were generally, most people would come in looking for a refund, and generally speaking, the team would make it hard for them. They'd be like, oh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that and I've got to call this person and check that it's not broken and I've got to do this and I've got to, and why do you want to bring it back? And they'd get the 12 questions and, they'd get treated like a criminal just because they bought 4 too many globes and they don't need all the globes, or, they bought 6 deck chairs and they only needed 3, or whatever the case might be. But the reality was they made it fucking hard for them, right? Absolute skin of the game, Martin. Hey, dude. But the reality is that, yes, they have skin in the game, right? The team had skin in the game, but they cared so much about a return that rather than just using common sense and going, okay, and separating themselves a little bit from the outcome, right? Rather than just going, all right, statistically, 95% of the customers that come in here looking for a refund are genuine and wonderful customers, right? And they just happen to need a refund. They couldn't separate themselves from the outcome. And to them, they would treat the customer like they were giving them money out of their own purse. And that was why they made it so hard. And I used to have to say to them, because as a manager, as the team leader, they would call me down because the customer would be getting irate that they're getting such a hard time. And it feels shit to go against the team. But the reality was the team were in the wrong time and time again. Like, I've worked in over a dozen plus stores and looked after, the customer feedback for more than 250 of them. So I see this to be a continuing, issue. I saw it to be a continuing issue. But the reality was that money wasn't coming out of their pocket. And had they understood that an easy return system or process actually would have left the customer feeling like they continue to have trust in the brand, then sometimes I wish they'd just be like, you know what, here's your money, don't worry about it. And I would have to explain to them, you know what, it's not even your money. Just chill. Oh, it's my shares. Yes. But your shares are now going to go in the bin because that customer's going to go and walk away and tell 26 people how you just treated them like a criminal. So I hope you enjoy that, right? So when I came across AppSumo, back to the original story, right? When I came across AppSumo and I realized I bought a program, it didn't suit my needs in the end, and I was waiting, I was ready to just cop a barrage of, wow, why are you leaving us? And literally it was done in 3 clicks. And I rang up my colleague who got me onto AppSumo, and I said, you never guess what just happened. And he's like, what? And I said, I just got rid of that program, got my money back in 3 clicks. And he's like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Because AppSumo says for their brand promise, now I feel like I'm preaching in church. AppSumo says the Lord, no, I'm not even religious. Oh, fucking Lord, whatever. They say, Noah says, right? The Lord and Savior Noah says, try any product risk-free. Do you know how much brand trust I have in Noah and AppSumo right now? Because that's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. I got to try a product. I realized it didn't work. I held up my end of the bargain. I stuck to, realizing that within the 60-day limit because, you still got to have some boundaries. It's not a free-for-all, but that's okay. And then risk-free, I got my money back without the bullshit. So if you too are a brand or a business where customers come to you and say, I want a refund, just fucking do it. Seriously? Because if they're not your customer, give them their money back and wish them a good day and a lovely life. And if they are your customer, give them their money back and invite them to come back again for a period or an offer that might be better suited to them. Don't be a dick. Those people with dicks, sorry. Don't be a peanut, right? Why I buy from JB? Yes. Do they have a better returns policy? Well, actually, I just sent a PS5 back. So, but I feel like that's probably more to do with the Australian consumer law than JB. It was dead on arrival. I do love JB though. Look, Amy, if I tried to be PC, it just wouldn't work. Who else have we got? Bunnings, right? I do love them. My heart bleeds red. I haven't lived with them. Jesus. Michael, if you're watching, Michael's the MD. He used to be my boss. But widest range, lowest prices, and they're just the beginning, right? So they actually now have gone to the extent of splashing their brand promise on the front of all of their warehouses. And you might see like a big banner that says, is it best prices and our promise. I'm like, wow, can't get any more public than that. You better live up to it now because, well, not that you better, you better live up to it. But it's not to say you weren't living up to it. You certainly were. If you knew the behind the scenes work that goes into Bunnings working to always be the best prices, whew, man, that is a workload and a half. Considering all the competition in the country and now online as well, it's huge. Those peeps work. So that's Bunnings. So for you, what's yours going to be? For me, mine is create customer experiences worthy of your customers' loyalty. That's mine. Aileen Day, value-driven brand, Meraki Business Solutions, all three of them are the umbrella for that brand promise because that is what holds me to account whenever I do work for my clients. Because if whatever I'm creating with them, for them, doesn't feel like that's going to create loyalty or help them become a trusted and value-driven brand, then it's not going to get through the gatekeeper, right? That is anyone that comes and does work with me. I have data scientists and learning and development facilitators and whatnot, specialists. They too then, when they come and do work with me, they then work under that same banner. that whatever they create, whatever insights come from the work they deliver, has to work towards creating experiences that deliver a customer experience worthy of their customers' loyalty, right? And that's a big ask. It's a huge ask, but that's my brand promise. So when you consider what your brand promise is going to be, I want you to consider what helps you drive your business to be the best it can be, best in show, right? If we're a dog show, who's the poodle? Who's up front, right? Who's getting the trophy? What do you have to do to deliver that? And if some of you who are watching online, give me some insight into what you think your brand promise might be. Throw it in the comments. Even if you don't come up with it right now and you walk away and you have an epiphany in the shower later, come back and tell me what your brand promise is going to be so that we can share it as well. Because sharing is caring, right? It's not all about me, as my dad says. It's not all about you, Aileen. What? Why not? Should be. So what's your brand promise? You can make it whatever you want. It just has to resonate with you, and it has to also resonate with your customers. Okay? So, and if you want help coming up with your brand promise, feel free to get in touch. Let's brainstorm some cool ideas on what it is you can do to get yourself out into the world of brand and take your business and move it to the other side of the greener pastures. So then customers can one day sit there and go, yeah, they really did do that. That was amazing. Or yes, I can really go and run a marathon now because I've watched that ad and heard that brand promise. Actually, you know what? I think the one that really does just I really love is H&M's. It's just that triangular kind of piece around what they will deliver to their customers and for their brand is just like, that's some good shit right there. So even model something like that just to start with, right? Draft it and think about what's your triangular promise to still get yourself out there and kind of thinking about what your brand should look like and what you want to deliver for every customer and every employee. Still working on it. Something like to create a sustainable client-focused business needs work. Yeah, all right. That's a good start. I like the sustainable part, especially because you live in the hills. Live in them there hills, Michelle. So very nice. Client-focused business. But we don't want to be a business. We want to be a brand. Lots better perks when you're a brand. As you would know, the brand Gaia, mother of Gaia. All right, well, that is it from me today. Thank you so much. I'm loving this chat. It has gone off its little rocker. So, and it turns out that Facebook's where everybody's catching this for a lot of it. So that's interesting. Good to know. I will be, in theory, live again on Sunday. I don't think any social things are going to get in my way this Sunday. If I'm not, I'll definitely be back on Wednesday. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you do come up with your brand promise, feel free to throw it in the comments. I'm going to keep an eye on them and respond and engage because that's what I love doing. That's the experience that helps deliver loyalty, and you guys are equally my customers. So until next time, please go out and deliver value for somebody else in your life because what goes around comes around. I'm Aileen Day. Until next time, catch you later.